Welcome back to Jersey Matters. The Chinese invaders known as the lanternflies can ruin crops, kill trees, and really do a number on your landscaping. So how are we going to fight them? Here is my interview with the New Jersey Secretary of Agriculture, Douglas Fisher, and Plant Industry Division Director, Joe Zoltowski, who was out in the field when we interviewed him. Let's start, Mr. Secretary, with an overview. Lanternflies are now in New Jersey. Why is that a concern?
Well, they're devastating in any number of ways, obviously to ornamental horticulture, to crops, and they are, it's very damaging. But we're out there every day treating and asking people to help us identify where they are. We have some quarantine counties that Joe Zoltowski will talk about. So the point is that that they are attracted to the tree of heaven, which is their host tree, and we're out there treating and trying to help eliminate the problem.
Talk about the damage that they do, Director.
They're sap-feeding insects. They're not defoliators, so they inject their mouth parts, and when they're small, they inject their mouth parts into young succulent stems of plants, for example, just to suck out the juices that the plants are producing. And so as they get older, their mouth parts harden up, and then they start going after trees. So they start sucking the sap out of trees and plants and vines. And as a byproduct of that, they excrete some of the sugary content of the plant sap that they're feeding on which sooty mold grows. So you have a two-pronged approach from their injury. One is weakening the plant or trees that they're feeding on, and then allowing sooty mold to grow and smother plant surfaces that are below that their excrement is going on.
And Secretary, you're taking this, the threat very seriously. As you said, you have counties quarantined. First of all, what are those counties, and what can the public do to help you?
Well, the counties are Warren, Hunterdon, Mercer, Burlington, Camden, Gloucester, Salem, and Somerset. There are things that people could do at their own homes, and if they go to our website, which I'm sure you'll put up, they can do some treatments themselves to eliminate these pests, and we want them to. So it's sort of an all-out effort. It's a concerted effort, not just by the Department of Agriculture, who's charged with this task from the USDA and APHIS as the lead agency on this. We also know that the public can help enlist the support by, one, telling us where these bugs are in the counties that are not quarantined, because we already know where they are in the quarantine counties. And then also doing some things on their own to help us eliminate with treatments that they can do with their households.
It changes over time, though. Isn't that right, Joe? I mean, it looks like something at first, and then it grows and it becomes something else.
Right. So first they hatch out in May, and they're about the size of an engorged tick, and they're black, and they have little white spots on them. Come July, they turn into the red form. Now they're about 3/4 inch big, and they're red with white dots on them, and that's when most people notice them. And then come towards the end of July, beginning of August, they all kind of turn into adults. So now they're a winged form, and they have some spots on the wings, but now they can fly short distances. They're pretty good flyers, though, but they're plant hoppers, tree hoppers, and so they prefer not to fly far. They pretty much would crawl up to the top of the tree behavioral-wise and launch themselves into the breeze to get carried far distances.
Are they dangerous at all to people?
They are not dangerous to people or animals because they don't feed on us. We're not trees or plants.
And Director, what exactly does the quarantine mean for the counties that are involved?
That everyone help us out. You're in a quarantine area. We know the populations are high, hence that's why you're in a quarantine area. And these insects also have a very good affinity to hitchhike. And so having said that, they'll get into the back of pickup trucks, or they'll get into your car, or they get behind your bumpers. Or if you're towing a trailer, they get into loads, whatever your load is in the trailer. They'll hitchhike long distances rapidly. By people, maybe going to the shore, for example, coming out of a different state that has a high population. And when the car stopped, they decide to hop off, and now you have a new infestation that's going to brew. So that's how they rapidly spread around. And so the quarantine asks people to check your vehicles, make sure you're not, to the best intents and purposes, moving them. If you see them, get them off your car.
Is there a spray or is there a way you can have somebody come out and just treat your home?
There are. And all of that is located on our website. But Joe can give you a couple examples for sure.
Right. So in our protocols that we currently use, because of their affinity for Tree of Heaven, the standard protocols are for our survey crews to go out to properties, get permissions from the owners to walk around their property, because Tree of Heaven is almost everywhere. People just don't really know exactly where it is. So we have to walk around. It's very time consuming. We're going to put a pesticide, a systemic pesticide on that tree, and on the bark of the tree. Tree becomes, toxic to anything feeding on it. So the adults, when they feed on that, or even nymphs, will die.
If you have someone from the Department of Agriculture that comes onto your property and they ask permission, we ask you to grant it to them so they can do treatments where they have large infestations that they want to be able to take care of. So we're actually out there in the field. We won't answer every call. We can't. But if our crews designate for someone's private property, we hope that the homeowner will invite them in and, welcome them so they could do their job.
It'd be crazy not to. I mean, I know firsthand, I've seen them. If you're going to come and help, because so many people are frustrated with this, and it does an amazing amount of damage. As I told you, it killed our rose bushes. It's all over our tomato plants. So good luck to you. I hope you nip this in the bud, because it spreads fast. That was my interview with Secretary Douglas Fisher and Joe Zoltowski from the Department of Agriculture in New Jersey. When Jersey Matters comes right back. As you can imagine, companies that provide fruit and vegetables to restaurants are really suffering in the pandemic. We'll visit one when we come right back.